I am Edgardo Bilsky. I am in the headquarters of UCLG. UCLG is United Cities and Local Governments, local organization of local authorities. We are a global federal organization with sections in each region of the world, 7 regions, and we are represented in 130 countries through principally local governments, national local governments associations, and city members. Our experience with MDGs is that most of the SDGs and now the debate on Sustainable Development Goals, post-2015 agenda, most of the goals and targets should be implemented at local level. That means that local authorities, cities, will have a particular role, an important role in the implementation of this agenda. For that, we need, first of all, to create awareness between in local authorities, within our membership, and to try to mobilize them to be part of this discussion of the post-2015 agenda, and later to participate actively in implementation, to improve the access to basic services, to create jobs, to support local development, to improve environment sustainability, and those are all the things that in which local authorities, cities particularly, are very much involved. That means that first we need to make recognized by international institutions and accept by national governments that local governments should be associated in the debate. And if we put it in the map, if they are recognized and they are specific goals that are a target that are addressed to them, then we can improve their involvement, their participation in the process. And then also to get support to their daily activities, to promote inclusion, to promote sustainability, to promote development. That is why we consider that an urban SDGs will be critical to recognize the role, to mobilize our membership, and to mobilize resources and support to the daily work. If you address developing, emergent, or less developed countries, or even developed countries, because the capacity of cities, big cities, middle-sized cities, or little local governments are not the same. In developing countries, as you know, in Africa or Russia, where most of the urban development will take place in the coming 20 years, many local authorities don't have the resources and even the capacity to ensure their daily responsibilities. And if there is not a clear support to them, we will be confronting in the next decades two very critical situations: development slums, problem of environment, jobless and young problems to integrate them in the society. Then it's critical that the international community, national governments will be aware that local governments need to be supported, because in the last 20 years they go in many countries through a process of decentralization. That means transferring responsibilities to local levels. It's not so much the case in India, where you still have a very centralized system, but there is the case in Indonesia, in Philippines, or in many countries in Africa, for example. And that means that it's a critical, we need to make a critical effort to support this process if we want to have really a real implementation of the Sustainable Development Agenda. We need to look to different situations. You have in developed countries, the role of local authorities are very much acknowledged. They participate in their daily support to delivering services, to promote inclusion, to promote local economic development. In emerging countries, there was a big change. If you take the example of Brazil, where there was a partnership, a really collaboration between national government and local governments, you can see all the indicators that, in general, public services delivering improve access to water, to sanitation, better education. Then I think there is a possibility, if local governments are reinforced, if they are really participating in the process, to improve the capacity of our society to deliver and to integrate people, and particularly the young people. Then that is one of the critical issues, and we can multiply a lot of examples where cities participate, even leading some of the solutions to deliver sustainable development on climate change and local climate action plans, improving transport, improving carbon gas emissions. Then there is, we can put on the table many examples where, if there is the support, if there is a visionary leader and you have the resources to do it, they can make the change. Well, I think it would, first of all, is for us as a global organization of local authorities, is a good opportunity to share with different stakeholders, academics, UN agencies, the debate on what are the next steps, what are the strategies related to the urban SDGs and all the debate on sustainable development goals. And I think in the last year, working with UN SDSN, with UN Habitat, and many of the stakeholders that are on the table, we achieved a big step forward that we need to ensure that the goal 11 will be approved, but it's still there, it's on the debate, and that is part of our achievements. Now we need to move forward on the implementation, and I think the debate of these 3 days on the targets and indicators for the goal 11 can help us to go to this next step of implementation and to reinforce our advocacy work toward the UN to make that the 11 SDGs will be adopted. That's for me. And the exchange that we have of different colleagues and the different visions about the current process. Then I hope that this exchange, this collaboration will continue in the next months.